Hello, it's Scott Manley here, and today we are back taking on Mars, except that isn't Mars in the picture, because the latest update added Europa. Now, it's not part of the main game as far as I can tell, you can't send probes to it, but there's a couple of scenarios they've added, and of course, you can mess around in the Sandbox. So there's basically two scenarios that are provided. One is to kind of drive around the surface. Oh, actually, here you're going to get to hear what the story is.
John Shepard to assess prospect sites 1 through 4 for sampling and analysis. Repeat, John Shepard to assess prospect sites 1 through 4 for sampling and analysis.
Looks like I'm up. Best take the buggy in the garage bay, or the aerial transport on the landing pad up top. Let's go prospecting.
John Shepard, there's something about that name that seems sort of familiar. Now, we're on Europa. The gravity here is about the same as the gravity on the moon, 1.3 meters per second. So, yeah, you can run, hit a bump, and then crack your head off the ceiling like that. That's, of course, because they do all the physics simulation for all the for the character walking around. It's not like those other lesser games that decide you can only move around in 1g of gravitational force, and the animations don't change.
Okay. That looks like everything. Time to get going.
I hope you guys are appreciating that I'm shutting up so you can hear the scintillating script that has been written for this particular scenario. Fully voiced, of course. Yeah, so we're going to head out and we're going to see some of the new hardware. So, as well as adding Europa, they added some other vehicles, some other tools, a whole bunch of props that are appropriate. It's not just like they took Mars and then made it white instead of red. No, Europa is, of course, well, the surface of Europa is ice, but it's ice that is rock hard at this temperature. It's not like you're going to be skiing around or anything. So we have a new vehicle. And because of course we're on Europa, we can just kind of carry it around. I think the force calculation is probably still based on me being a human standing on Earth, but moving an object which weighs like it's on Europa. So it does look like it's got a rather high center of gravity. Oh, and there's Jupiter sitting out there. But yeah, you can reach up, open the door here. And you can't actually see the seat, so you have to kind of aim in the middle there. Close that up and we can drive this around. Now, this has a really high centre of gravity, as I pointed out. You would think that this would just roll over, but this is one of those fancy things, fancy high-tech things that the animators say, could we make it simulate like it's in 1G? And it does. You can turn it to automatic and it will have little rockets that fire to keep you stuck on the surface. Look at that, little rockets firing. Okay, except I'm doing this the wrong way. Might have to reverse out of here. So the first site looks like it's over some very irregular terrain. I'm not sure how best to negotiate this. So let's just go left here, see if we can find some, bit of skidding there. Oh, and nice shading. You can actually see the shadow all works correctly. Falling off here. Oh, am I falling technically? I'm not really falling if the rockets are pushing me down. I'm thrusting off the top there. Wait, that does sound a little suggestive. Okay, look, I can't find any way through, so we're just gonna, go as fast as we can and hope that things work out. Because if they don't, it might be funny. Okay, bit of maneuvering, spinning. And actually, we just did a backflip and landed perfectly fine. Thank you, thruster systems. Thank you to modern technology. Your efforts towards awesoming space are going to be appreciated. Oh, wait, we're rolling. We're rolling. No. Damn it. Oh! I'm dead. Oh, well.
Looks like I'm up. Best take the buggy in the garage bay, or the aerial transport on the landing pad up top. Let's go prospecting.
The way he says garage sound a little odd. The garage bay, it's not garage or garage. It's kind of a weird combination of the two. Okay, so anyway, yeah, we're going to take the thing up top. It looks like the Flying Bedstead that Neil Armstrong crashed. Okay, here we go. Open the doors. Nice. You notice how they have an exit sign up there? Like, it's an emergency exit. You're in a space station and there's a problem, so you want to find the quickest way to get out into the vacuum. and somehow you've missed all those briefings, and so you need to have exit signs marked everywhere. I mean, I guess by plastering exit signs everywhere, it means you don't actually need to teach the astronauts where the exits are. They can just figure it out when they get there. Okay, now get the... It's interesting that's a swinging door and the other one is a Star Trek sliding door. But look at that! Ah, Jupiter there! Beautiful! That really is rather beautiful, I have to say. So I guess we're relatively close to the equator here. Now... Oh, jump. I didn't mean to jump quite that high. Let's not miss. Ah, nice. Yeah, definitely looks like a two-person version of the Flying Bedstead. Obviously, the Flying Bedstead included a jet engine so that it could simulate the lunar gravity, and then it had other control systems to test flying over the moon. Oh, flood lamps, that would be nice. But I don't know how to get to the seat. That is... How do I get in this seat here? Let me just stand back and see. Yeah, big rocket there. Lots. Gotta say, the framework is really quite expansive for such... Considering the lack of fuel tanks. I would think that we'd have more fuel tanks than this. Let's try jumping up on top and seeing if... I like how I can change direction in mid-air, despite not having any thrusters. There we go. Okay. So yeah, this should be a lot better at getting us to the target. The question is, will I run out of fuel faster? I don't know how far it is to fly to these things, but I shall be careful. I'm looking to see if there's like some sort of autopilot system I need to enable, like the other one, but apparently not. Okay, I'm pushing the space bar and it's not making me go up, which is strange. Oh, yeah, shift. Shift, apparently, makes me go up, which is strange because in other vehicles, spacebar makes me go up. Oh, very confusing. Well, never mind. Take on Mars is one of those games that has a lot of different bits that don't really hold together particularly well, but all the same, I do quite enjoy messing around in its sandboxes every now and then. Yeah, I think it's just like one guy and maybe he occasionally gets somebody to help him with graphics and animations. Okay, let's put it down extra gentle. Now, how do I turn off the engines? Because the engines still seem to be working here. Nope. Nope. How about that? Is that off? Maybe if I push this button it'll turn off. Nope, it's staying on. Maybe I just have to get out of the seat. I'm worried if I get out the seat, the thing will fly away without me. And if I'm getting out the seat and getting toasted by the rocket. Okay, that's fine now. Okay, well, let's go and get that all-important sample. Everybody wants James Shepard to bring that sample back. And when I say everyone, I mean the voices in his head, because I haven't met anybody else on Europa. It appears to be just me and the disembodied voice that comes and says, "Hey, we want you to go and get those samples." And I'm like, hey, sure, can I take the awesome Flying Bedstead thing that's meant for two people, but mysteriously there's only just me? I mean, I'm beginning to think that he might have actually just murdered everyone and he's just hearing voices in his head. I mean, to be fair, he might be going crazy because Europa should have a lot of radiation, and while I hear the Geiger counter occasionally tick, I don't think that is actually the reality of what you would experience if you were on the surface of Europa. Okay, let's gently put it down. There we go. Stop. Okay, I'll let that shut. Whoa, what? 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 The aerial transport was damaged beyond repair.
John Shepard to...
Looks like I'm up. Best take the buggy in the garage bay, or the aerial transport on the landing pad up top. Let's go prospecting.
Okay, well, given the unreliability of the vehicles, I think I'm just going to walk. Because it is only, 1.3 Gs here, so it should be super, super easy. There we go. That is the base that I'm living in. Look at those big windows they've got. The wonderful vistas they must present to the astronauts. I'm not sure it's such a good idea, to be honest, because there's just a vacuum here, right? Okay, here we go. Jogging across the surface. Beautiful. It's almost like the animator has only animated it for 1G. Oh. There, look. See that? Oh. What? He's skidding around a bit. You know, so the surface of Europa is ice, but it wouldn't be slippery like ice on Earth. You see, ice on Earth tends to melt. Oh wow, look at that shadow there. That's very strange. Well, let's go and get the sample. Yeah, when the ice gets super cold, it's more like rock because it doesn't melt enough to become slippery. At least that's how I understand it. A lot of reason for ice being slippery is down to water films that form when the ice gets stressed near the surface. But when it gets too cold, it just simply... Oh! Well, so much for that. Let's try the other scenario. So, yeah, the other scenario is a submarine.
Deployment successful. Be advised, we are proceeding with pre-approved mission plan 431A. Metis 1 out.
Oh hey, apparently I do actually have a partner down here. So this is a submarine section where you are underneath the ice of Europa, which is kind of, I mean, it's a fascinating concept. Everybody's really interested to see what is in the oceans underneath Europa, and possibly Enceladus. There's a few places in the solar system where we believe that there are liquid water. So you'll see on the depth meter here that it's telling me I'm 3.1 kilometers underwater. And yeah, gotta go to the middle of this cavity, which is a fair distance away. This is, well, I managed a top speed of 2.26 meters per second, which is pretty slow. But then again, we are 3.1 kilometers underwater. 3.1 kilometers underwater on Earth would be some pretty amazing pressures, but because Europa has a gravity of like 1.3, I'm guessing it's more like 500 meters underwater. I mean, 500 meters is still pretty deep, but like modern nuclear submarines, you know, military submarines are, that's the test depth on these things. And that presumably includes some pretty large margin before crush depth.
Okay, we're at the center of the cavity.
What now, Gus?
Now we look around these side channels. If there's something here, we'll find it.
Roger.
Oh, so apparently the captain is called Gus. I wonder if that's a reference to another astronaut that had some accidental submersion issues with equipment. Yeah, the map isn't very useful. I guess I'm just going to drive around and look for stuff. There's a nice big spiky rocky thing. Presumably made of spiky rocks. Looks like there's some sort of stuff floating around in the water here as well. Okay, so we're looking for life. We're looking for something, but you just know we're going to find life. Wait, look, there's something there. And it's glowing green in the dark. Which doesn't actually make any sense at all, because we are 3.1 kilometers underneath the surface. There is no light here. There isn't going to be any light here. Why would anything have any color down here except to troll games designers? Seriously. Oh, we would need you to make it as grey and boring as possible. Okay, I'm exaggerating. Plenty of things near hydrothermal vents have colour, but they're just not patterns, or there's certainly no green down there.
Wow. Yeah, I am. Is that life?
It sure looks like it. Prep your diving gear. You're going in.
Understood. Wait, you're not coming?
No, I need to contact command. Let them know, and we need samples to analyze your find.
What about dive buddy protocol?
John, go. You can handle this.
Okay. Back in a bit.
Back in a bit, unless that actually turns out to be a real, honest-to-God sea monster that kills you. Obviously, they basically don't have a way to have the character animate, or it would have taken too much time, so instead I get to go out swimming in an alien ocean. 500 meters worth of pressure, so they must have improved dive technology quite a bit, because I believe the deepest scuba dive is like 300 meters or something like that. I mean, unless this is a hard suit here. No, that's not a hard suit. That is a regular diving suit with flippers. So I'm not sure what the decompression protocol for this thing is going to be, because this guy's... Yeah, Yeah, Dram, I'm sorry. There's divers everywhere that are just WTFing this whole thing. I believe the US Navy has hard suits. Oh, there we go. Wow. Yeah, hard suits can go down to like 500 meters. Those are basically, you know, suits of armor, and the guy inside it is at regular atmospheric pressure. You see, the problem with diving under high pressure is that I can't get through the door. That's what my problem is. Open the door. Open the door? Thank you. Okay. Now get out the door. The problem with going to high pressures with like a regular oxygen nitrogen atmosphere is you end up going nuts. You end up having pressure sickness. You start off with nitrogen narcosis, and then that'll kill you basically. Ooh, look at that. There's a submarine. So you can replace the nitrogen with helium, and that helps get you much deeper. And I've heard that there are crazy people that have gone really deep simulated depths. Ooh, nice. Nice. Look, you can actually see him in his wetsuit, because this water is probably not that warm. I've heard that there are crazy people that have simulated super deep dives using hydrogen oxygen mixtures, which just boggles the mind, because we all know how hydrogen and oxygen love to burn. Especially when you get up to like high pressures. Anyway, come on.
I have the sample. Heading back to the sub.
Awesome, I got the sample.
Well done. Let's head back to the surface and get this thing processed. Gus out.
Yeah.
Gus
on my way,
out. I'm Scott Manley. Fly safe.